Why is life so hard? Because that's how you choose to see it. My name is Kanchefu and welcome back to another discussion. Today we're discussing that thinking of why is life so hard? Why is it so challenging? Why don't things go my way? And why does this continue to happen? But before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed. I was recently having a discussion with one of my mentors about the subject of difficulty, choice and decision in relation to hardship and life's challenges, and he brought up a story that I know you'll resonate with. So it goes like this. Two brothers were brought up with an alcoholic father, being abused mentally, physically, emotionally and spiritually. They both went through equal turmoil, but as adulthood arose, both brothers gained independence to begin their own life, leaving their home and leaving their alcoholic father. A couple years go by and one of the brothers has a job, a house, a long-term partner who is looking to engage and eventually marry and also have kids. When asked why and how, he replied, "Because I have an alcoholic father." On the other hand, the other brother became an alcoholic, homeless, and struggles to make any ends meet. When asked how and why, he said, "Because I have an alcoholic father." Two brothers brought up in the same situation, with the same circumstances. One chose to lead a different life and one chose to follow a different life. When my mentor was speaking about this, he was emphasizing what difficulty did they have, what choices did they have, and finally, what decision did both brothers make. These three areas of hardship, difficulty, the choices we have, and the decision we finally make all amount to what happens next, how we perceive it, what we actually do about it. Two brothers, two situations. Yourself, what situation are you in? One definite thing we can clarify is, if hardship is consistent throughout life, what is your difficulty tolerance? What are your choices on your table? And then what decisions are you making after that? So let's take a deeper look into the difficulty, the choice, and then the decision. So the difficulty. Different aspects of our life are more difficult than others. Some things come more naturally to us and some things take a bit of learning and understanding. Now that can depend on which stage you're at in life. For instance, within education, it's harder to get a degree when you don't understand the fundamentals at a college level. Or within your career and business, it's harder to manage 10 people if you've never even had a conversation with one. Or another sense of difficulty can be, it's harder to lose weight when you don't even know your current weight. There's different levels of difficulty. But because it's ever present within our life, what level of difficulty makes it worth fighting for or not? As much as winning or attaining this outcome is the goal or is the intention, other side of that, of longer days, of moments of frustration, of sometimes not seeing a way out, they are there too. So if life is so hard, how much of that hardship is worth fighting for? If you were to recognize that, okay, difficulty is there, things aren't going to be always easy, things aren't always going to be my way, but that doesn't mean I can't find a way. That doesn't mean there isn't a way. That just means in this time, in this place, in this moment, in this environment, things are hard. The difficulty within a hard life emphasizes the issue and closes the opportunity. But if we shift that around and understood that if my focal point is on how difficult it is, on how hard life is, that will continue to grow. That will continue to develop, and that will be my sole focus. Not what can I work with? How can I develop from here? What can I do to improve this? Or is it myself who needs to get stronger? Is it myself who needs to become more resilient? And is it myself who needs to develop stronger shoulders? One thing I'm emphasizing within this conversation is recognizing it's your responsibility. As we'll soon discuss, it's your choice and your decision to do something about it, because it's your life. There may be friends or family to cry on, to talk about your struggles, but once you recognize that and you see difficulty is always present, when you're a child learning 1 + 1 to now in the situation that you're in, it's going to be there. So what can you do about it? Or better more, how can you work with it? The second point, the choices we make. You're currently in a particular point, environment, situation with a past history. And as I previously said, the choices you make in hard times can either amplify the situation, leave it and let it go, or work with it. If the famous saying everything happens for a reason is correct, what about this time and its reasoning can help you choose? We're looking to better ourselves, to develop, to grow, to reach new goals and develop who we are. And what we do, how we think, how we talk, how we act. And the beautiful part of that is we can look at our past and where we've been, things we've said, how we've acted, the way we've approached things, our attitude, our mindset, and so much more. We can look at that, understand that, recall moments, videos, photos, memories to see who we were. Let me bring that to today. Who do we want to be? How do we want to act? How do we want to behave? And what do we want to see from ourselves? That's what we begin to nurture to have a better tomorrow. If you no longer took choices the way you did back then, how would things change for what's about to come? If you no longer acted the way you did back then and chose to act in a way that's going to help you in the future, how would things change as well? Would things be so difficult if you pulled out from who you were to choose to be who you want to be? The choice is there, always available, and is never closing. That's an open door to choose what you want to see, in choosing who you want to be, in choosing what happens in your life. I completely understand as things things out of our control. What we're discussing is what is within our control, and choosing what we do is within our control. It's within our capability, and it's the reason why we're here right now, because you chose to have this discussion with me. But before we get on to the last point, make sure you subscribed. The final point of why life is so hard is the decisions we make. Every decision you make creates a different outcome. So what decision can you make with the choices that you have, in a way that the challenge doesn't consume you, but moves you? That's all a decision is, right? A decision is, we've looked at, okay, where am I in life? What is happening? What's going on? What isn't going on? And from there, I can choose, hey, do I want to be with these people? Do I want to go and do this job? Do I want to be in this environment, or its alternative? And we fully look at that plan of the choices we have. Now, looking at that almost complete picture, what level of difficulty does this require for me in order to make it happen? In order to get a job, in order to develop my business, in order to better myself? What is that going to take from me? What kind of attitude? What kind of mentality? What kind of beliefs? How much action on a daily basis is that going to require from me? No longer does life become hard, but with the hard times, how do I go about it? What do I choose to look at? What do I decide to embark on? And how much can I tolerate until I need to slow down, rethink my path, but can still continue to move forward? After thinking about this further, this discussion about why life is so hard makes me want to ask you a question. If life is so hard, when has it been easy? Let's think about that. There's times that life has been easy for you. I know when I see children play in the park, in a supermarket, that they have no queries, no worries, maybe about their food, but the responsibility levels aren't there. As you grow up, as you become a young adult and adult, you gain more responsibility, you gain more understanding of the world and yourself, and hardship arrives more prevalently. So with hardship being so evident within our lives, doesn't that also equal to how there's been good times? How there's been moments, beautiful memories with friends, with families, at work, and there is. They don't work without one another, they work with one another. But as I would say, there's three sides to a coin, and we're on that third side, on deciding on what we focus on, the hardship or the easiness. But being balanced within both, which means looking at the choices, which means making a decision, and which means understanding the difficulty it actually takes to get what we want or to continue with the life that we have. You begin to develop yourself. You begin to grow and create new opportunities in where our self wouldn't know that this is who I can be. Because life is hard, that's it. As from our discussion, we know that's not the case. We know it's about the difficulty levels in what we want in different situations and environments, and we go through those levels. Then as we go through the levels, we can dictate what choices we make, and whether we continue to embark, and whether we take a different route, and whether we need to step back and evaluate ourselves to prepare ourselves for this next difficulty level. With that choice, we then decide, what do we do? With whatever outcome it portrays, we continue to adapt and grow who we are in different circumstances, in different environments, in who we want to be. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. My name is Kanchefu, and if you did, make sure you subscribe and share this with a friend or family you keep hearing say, why is life so hard? I'm sure they'll enjoy this video. My name is Kanchefu once more. Have a good day, night, morning or evening for wherever you are in the world watching this, and I'll see you next week for our next discussion.